Hey there and welcome in. Let me show you the new version of Zorin operating system, right? For those of you who don't know, this is basically Linux. It is based on Ubuntu. They have very, very pretty customizations in terms of the looks of the GNOME desktop. You are going to like it if you haven't seen it already. They have some of their applications that make their operating system special. They offer a lot of applications from the store. We're going to get to that part in a little bit. Let me just walk you through some of the basics, right? So, first things first. There are GNOME accounts, right? Accounts, where are these online accounts, right? So from here, these are basically the normal stuff that you get with GNOME, right? But what is kind of important for an operating system such as Zorin is that it is like a general purpose operating system, right? If you are a hardcore gamer, you may want to go with something like Arch or something like that. If you are some kind of an office user, then Zorin might be a good fit for you. If you are regular user who just uses computer for all kinds of stuff, also Zorin is a very good fit. It kind of reminds you on, let's say, Windows 7 or something like that. But I'm going to get to the looks in any moment now. So during the installation, you will be asked some questions, including the ability to join the Microsoft domain. And why am I even mentioning this on a channel that deals with free software? Well, it's because this is really practical for a lot of people. For a lot of people who actually want to get away from Windows, sometimes they really can't get away if the alternate operating system doesn't offer joining a Microsoft domain, simply because that's the company policy, right? So having these kinds of options is, well, optional and good. It is good because it gives people a chance to experience free software in their natural habitat, right? But also while keeping some of the requirements that their workplace requires, right? Yeah, so you can go ahead and add like Nextcloud accounts, Google, Microsoft Exchange. That's the one that I was aiming for, right? As something that is pretty interesting, right? So around here you have like your standard stuff: networking configuration, Wi-Fi configuration, Bluetooth configuration. All this is fine. My laptop does have a Bluetooth, but it is disabled in BIOS. I don't use it. It works though. The default wallpapers are nice and all kinds of stuff. Notifications, search, multitasking. Okay, speaking of multitasking, right? You got your basic like GNOME workspace, right? So you can do the three finger swipe, right? For going into the other desktop environment, right? Into your second workplace. So here you can, let's say, open up software, right? You can make it full screen, and then you can go ahead back to the first workspace where you have been doing something else, right? The applications configuration, privacy configuration, location services, Thunderbolt and stuff like that. Let's go ahead. Yep, I pulled the three finger up. That's not what I wanted. I'm still not used to using the gestures on a touchpad, but it's kind of nice. I'm more like a dimple guy, the one on the keyboard of a ThinkPad. I don't know what you call it in English, power, like normal stuff, performance, balance, power saver, dimming your screen, all kinds of stuff that you would expect on a regular computer, right? When you press the Windows and P, you get a really nice presentation of switching between mirrored, join displays like extended desktop, external only, and built-in only screens, right? So right now we are using the mirrored mode, so I can record the entire screen, all kinds of configuration for the touchpad and keyboard. It basically supports everything that GNOME supports, right? So let's go ahead and show you a little bit about Zorin Appearance. And I did not want to click settings, but actually I want appearance, right? So we are using the first mode, which kind of looks like Windows 7. And if we switch to the second mode, we are now it looks a little bit like Windows XP, right? So if that's your thing, it's perfectly fine. The start menu is still the same one, but the taskbar kind of shifted to something that resembles the XP mode, right? The third one roughly resembles what would be like Windows 11, I think, but not exactly because there is no start menu here, but rather it is like here. I don't know if you could compare this to Mac. I don't think so, but it is one of the layouts that you can use. The default layout. Well, this one kind of resembles a little bit older version of GNOME. There is no plank on the bottom, just the regular like three finger swipe to get to your tasks, right? And if you press the start menu, the start button, you get the same effect and stuff like that. So in general, the default one is quite nice, and there are plenty more of the other layouts, right, available. We just move this out of my camera's way. There are plenty more layouts if you upgrade to Zorin OS professional version. The professional version gives you quite a lot of pre-installed applications, but also a lot of custom layouts on which Zorin team has spent a lot of time to polish them. And I have already tested them on a professional version of Zorin, and they really did invest a lot of tiny polish into making these themes. They are all quite fit. Everything is where it's supposed to be. So if that's worth like $50 to you, stuff like that, then go ahead and use my link to download that version of software, because that's how you give me a little bit of money, right? And support me. So with Steam, you can do the accent thing, right? You can do the red accent, the green accent, right? It goes well with this grass. You can go with the light mode. You can go with the dark mode. I prefer the dark mode. It can also automatically switch during the day, right? Effects, there is a jelly mode that you can enable. So this is when you move windows right around, they kind of wobble around. It's kind of a cool effect. I use that on KD as well. Desktop cube, I already showed you that one. If you disable this, then it's just a normal way how GNOME behaves when you switch workspaces. Same, I kind of like the desktop cube. I have been using that from day one, since Compiz effects came out like 30 years ago or something like that, maybe 25. um, you can put the icons on your desktop if you want that. You can configure a lot about how Windows behave, your interface, how it behaves, toolbar settings. There are plenty of options which you can choose from to configure it just the way you like, right? So all that is very, very configurable along with the fonts, right? So as I said, like Microsoft domain login, that's one of the options GNOME accounts that kind of comes along with it. So an elephant in the room. I'm sure that many of you have already noticed that the browser here is Brave, right? And the reason for that is that recently Mozilla has introduced terms of service, which a lot of people did not appreciate, to say the least. So the Zorin team has consulted their own community, and basically the community voted for Brave. So the Brave choice apparently is not a choice of Zorin, it is a choice of the Zorin community. So there is that, right? If you are not a fan of Brave, I'm sure you can change it. But in the light of a video that I made like 2 days ago, you know, the Mozilla thing and the shrinking market of Firefox, it is becoming a little bit of a pandemic, right? And I have nothing negative to say about the Zorin team, right? I mean, their community wanted uh, this browser, and now they have it, right? The good thing about it is that by default, this is how it came out of the box, right? I haven't changed anything. Leo is not here, at least not, it's not enabled as it usually is. The AI assistant, right? You can still have it, but it's kind of hidden. The Brave rewards are hidden. The what do you call them? The Brave advertising is hidden. So all of the nagware that Brave comes with out of the box is hidden when you install Zorin OS, right? So from that perspective, I think they did good, and they hid as much as they could, right? It is pretty much everything that I usually hide in Brave after I install it, right? One other thing is if you go to the terminal, right, and let's increase the font size if we can. Yeah, we can do that, of course. So uname says kernel 6.8. So at this point, this kernel is like a year old, roughly, but I think this is the kernel that comes with the latest version of Ubuntu, which is 24.10. So from that perspective, I wouldn't expect anything newer in the Zorin OS 17.3. But I would like to see them upgrade to the next one, to the next kernel after the Ubuntu team upgrades their own kernel to the next one, right? And I'm talking about the kernel that goes with the LTS version, because this operating system is based on the LTS version. So once that gets the upgrade for the kernel, I suppose the Zorin OS 17.3 will also get the upgrade. So there is that. So another cool thing that Zorin is known for is that it supports installing Windows applications out of the box, right? You don't really have to think about it too much. So for example, if you want foobar player, right? Let's download something for Windows, right? Foobar player. I haven't downloaded these applications for quite a while. Download for 60-bit, 64-bit. Do the downloads, save. Okay, let's go to the downloads, files, right? Downloads. So already you can see that it has a Windows icon, and it kind of feels recognized. It will not work out of the box, mind you, but let me show you the entire procedure, right? It is pretty straightforward. You double click it as you would in Windows. It says, do you wish to install Windows application support? Yes. Do the Windows application support. It will take you to the store. Okay, it says here that this is something that comes out of Zorin operating system, right? So let's go ahead and install it. Type your password. There we go. Let's wait it out a little bit until this gets installed. Okay, we can just make this Windows a tiny bit smaller while this is going on. Okay, here we go. After this has been installed, and it did install both wine and bottles, right? Let's give it a couple of more seconds, right? It has automatically launched what we initially wanted to install, right? So this is a full bar installer. Let's just go ahead and do the classic Windows installation, standard installation, next. Next, yeah, I guess we can do the full installation. Perfectly fine. We are now acting up like we are in Windows, right? And voila, here is our Windows applications running here. I don't have any music to play it for you, but generally this is how it would look if you would need some Windows application. However, I do want to show you something else that is quite cool in the Zorin 17.3. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and Discord download, right? So it says download for Linux, right? But let's pretend that Discord website did not exactly recognize that we are on Linux, and we would go. Let's pretend that we are on Windows. Right, here we go. So I'm going to intentionally download Discord setup.exe to show you how this works, right? So what you would expect right now is, because we have installed the Windows application support, we can now run Discord Windows version. And why would we do that? Well, pay attention. So double click your Windows installer, and Zorin says Discord can be installed from software. And what software is? Software is the GNOME version of the App Store, right? So you can run it anyway to install the Windows version. But since we are warned that a Linux version of this software actually exists, because Zorin understand these kinds of things, you can click install Discord, and voila, it will pop up with the let me just move it out of the way of my camera. It will pop out with the GNOME store, right? And it will pull the version from Flatpak. You will click install, and voila, we are installing Discord from Flatpak, right? No matter that we have installed an exe version. So this is, I would dare to say that this is cool, because the people who this operating system is for, I think they could appreciate the easier transition that this operating system would give them, right? Because a lot of people who are not that technically inclined are going to be slowly shifting towards alternative operating systems uh, from their perspective, right? From my perspective, Linux is not an alternative for Windows, but for them, it most certainly is, because Windows 10 is now out of support. A lot of computers will not be able to upgrade to Windows 11, even if they wanted to upgrade. I mean, the owners of these computers. So I think this kind of transition is really good for everyone who is not for everyone who doesn't really know how to use Linux, right? They will go to random web pages, they will download random applications that they usually use, and Zorin will warn them that don't install this exe file, because we have this in the native Linux store in one of our packaging systems. And speaking of packaging systems, let me show you some other neato trick, right? So let me pick one of the applications. Let's say GIMP, right? You search for GIMP, you open GIMP, right? And it offers automatically FlatHub version, right? But however, if you click the drop-down menu, it also offers a snap version of the application. It also gives you the beta versions. It also gives you the apt version from the Zorin OS, right? So the native version. So you get the apt and snap and Flatpak. Everything is included to your heart's desire to choose ROM. And even the app images are included, not for GIMP though, but the store does support those as well. So it gives you like a full array of every possible way to install applications. And being based on Ubuntu core to the most degree, well, that kind of gives you the confidence that this will indeed be a rock stable operating system, as Ubuntu usually is, without some of the Ubuntu bloatware that you have come to be used to, right? So out of the box, a snap daemon is actually not installed, just as Windows application support is not installed out of the box. But the first snap you attempt to pull, the snap daemon is going to automatically be installed for you. So there is that, right? So you don't have to remove the snap support like you do need to do on Ubuntu if you are someone who doesn't like that kind of stuff, right? So let me just go ahead and close the application store. Let me show you something else. The reason why I have been having this other camera enabled is because there is something called Zorin Connect, right? Zorin Connect, let me see, remote input. Is this already running? Yeah, it is. So you can see I have already paired it in advance, and you can see my pointer moving around like that's kind of nice. You can click the right click button. Tap is just the left click button. Two fingers, you can do that as well and act as this is a touchpad of sorts. You can, you know, hold it next to your computer if you maybe don't have a touchpad or something like that. But generally, it's kind of it's kind of a remote control, right? And in order to control your computer, you are just going to you know, move your mouse around. However, let me show you something else. Let's go to the Office applications, and we have Impress. Yeah, it is. Okay. Impress is the presentation mode. Let's go with some kind of a template. We are now doing a presentation, right? We are doing the presentation. I'm very rich in how I am doing this, right? So let's go ahead and run the presentation. Is it F5? Yeah, it is. Okay. So go ahead into Zorin Connect, right? And there is I don't know if you can see this. The camera isn't focusing very good, but there is a button called presentation mode, right? So what you can do here, you can go to the next page. You know, you can do the presentation thing, and also you can do the pointer thing because you're not at your computer at this moment, because this is what you're presenting. You're standing on a soapbox or on a stage or something, and you don't have the mouse in your hands. You may be having a laser pointer, but if you don't have one, you can just hold this button, right, and use the gyro to move the pointer. I'm sure you can see it moving on my screen. So this is how it would work, right? This is kind of integrated into the Zorin operating system on its own, right? So let's go ahead and exit the presentation. We are no longer going to need that one. Don't save this. Let's go ahead and launch like Element. Am I logged into Element here? Yeah, I am. So for example, open Mandriva. Here are some guys talking about some stuff, and let's go ahead and copy this to clipboard, right? And go ahead to Zorin Connect, press the send clipboard button, right? And go ahead to some kind of an editor, edit text editor, good. And now press paste, right? I don't know if you can see it here. How do I increase the font size? I have no clue how to increase the font size on GNOME. or in the GNOME text editor, but it is what it is, right? You can just transfer the clipboard from your phone to your Zorin operating system, right? Let's go ahead back to the downloads and let me show you something else. For example, send files, and let's go to images. I have some albums that I purchased recently. For example, Dua Lipa here, and you can click a file to send an image to the to your computer, right? So here you can see the image from my phone has been transferred with basically one click. You can send any files that you pretty much like. You can also do the multimedia control. As I said, I don't have the any music players at the moment, but basically it's standard stuff like volume, next song, previous song, play, pause, stop, and stuff like that, right? It's basically a remote control for your music. We have done the send clipboard, send files, presentation mode, multimedia control, remote input, that's the mouse thing, and we also have some run commands like locking the screen, logging out, power off, restart, suspend. I don't know. Let's lock the screen and see what happens. Okay, this screen was of course locked. No wonder. It works. Another cool thing is sending SMSs and stuff like that, or being notified about phone calls. So pay attention to the top of the screen, right? When I call someone, it says that there is an ongoing call happening here, right? You get a notification for that from your phone, and also if you have an incoming call, at the same way, it is going to give you a notification. So right now I'm going to read a little bit from the documentation that Zorin sent me. So the new Zorin Connect synchronization notifications between devices, sending files and photos between your phone and computer, see incoming phone calls and reply to text messages from your computer, control music and video playback across your devices, use your phone as a slideshow remote. We have already seen that. Send commands to your computer from your phone. We have seen that as well. Share web links to disconnected computers to be opened when they connect the next time. Allow having different home screen widgets for different computers if you have more Zorin computers, right? Send album art for playing media from the phone to the computer. Direct share targets in Android. Share dialogues. You know what that is, right? So when you share something from your application, you can on the phone, right? Then you can pick to like share to WhatsApp, share to Telegram, share to your Zorin computer, right? That's what it is. Allow filtering notifications from a work profile. They added some more fine-grained notifications channels. Search for application name in the notification plugin settings. There are some plugins as well. Added the option to cancel a pairing request after sending. Okay, these are some kind of improvements, and basically it is getting near the end of the what Zorin Connect is doing. But overall, it's pretty polished application, a lot better than what KDE Connect does, in my personal opinion, because I use KDE Connect, and this is quite a lot better in terms of it actually works. If that makes sense to you, right? That speaks volumes on what I think about KDE Connect, right? So another thing that you may see, let's go to settings, right? Okay, actually, let's go to Zorin Appearance. There is one thing that I may have skipped on the appearance. Yeah, so screen keyboard in the button panel, right? So if you press this one, you will get an on-screen keyboard. If this is a touchscreen device, this is especially useful for those laptops that are like 360 convertibles, right? When you flip them around, you will get them into the full touchscreen mode, but in that case, you're no longer going to have the keyboard. So from that perspective, you will want to have one of those, right? and you can just call it from your the taskbar, right? If you have the taskbar icon enabled, right? Let me go ahead and I guess that can stay here. Okay, and the last but not the least, they have included the latest Nvidia 570 drivers in this ISO installation, so you can install Zorin 17.3 if you have the latest 5000 Nvidia graphics card, right? So you can use all three major hardware manufacturers for your favorite graphics card, right? So that's kind of going to be it from me on the topic of Zorin 17.3. If you have noticed in the past year or so, I have been in the beginning, I kind of recommended Ubuntu to the new users, right? When I say recommend, what I mean by recommend, if you are a power user and you know what you want, and you see me recommend something like Ubuntu, sometimes you are going to get angry because this is not your choice. But if you have a choice, if you have your own choice, then it doesn't really matter what I recommend to those who actually ask for my assistance, right? For my recommendation, because these recommendations are not for you. These recommendations are for people who want an operating system or a Linux distribution to be recommended to them. And if they want a recommendation, this means that they don't know what they need. And for these people, I have switched like a year ago from recommending Ubuntu to recommending Zorin because Ubuntu is doing some stuff that I no longer think is good for the general user, because general user shouldn't be restricted. Ubuntu is slightly starting to remind me of Apple. Not that much, but generally I don't like when people are getting locked in into any kind of ecosystem, because the way Apple does it is really nasty and it's really difficult to get out of it. What Zorin is doing, they are literally giving you all of the choice that exists in the Linux desktop space today, and everything is up to date. You will get all of the up to date applications, both of the apt versions, and of course the snaps and flatpaks. That's kind of a given, right? But I think Zorin is really fit for those people who ask for a recommendation. Whether Zorin is for you who is watching this video, I don't know. You tell me in the comments below. I am happy or more than happy to talk about it. You can even join my Matrix chat and talk about this topic with me over there, right? And I think when it comes to what I said right earlier, when it comes to giving a recommendation, even if you're not the person for Zorin, I think you should try it in one of your next distro hopping adventures, just to get a good look at it. So then, when your relatives or friends ask you for a recommendation, then you will have one more as an experience to think between, right? So then you will be able to better tell what is good for a user who is actually asking for a recommendation. And the way I'm expressing myself is intentional, because the recommendations aren't asking only normies. Also, power users are asking for recommendations as well. And these are people who have always used only Windows, and now they want to use something else, but they just don't know, right? They don't have experience, and they want someone to help them to say it, like, use this as your first stepping stone, and then when you learn, then you will know more what you really need, right? So that's going to be it from me today. If you liked this video, if you liked this operating system, if you are thinking about buying the Pro version, you can check it out on the link that is displayed on the screen. So please, if you do buy it, support me by buying it through my link. That's all I'm asking, and I'm going to see you in the next video, right?